Hello, it's Mary Beth from StencilGirl Products. What a difference a month makes. Okay, we had January's filming of my art break, and then I had a break. While walking in our neighborhood, I tripped over some uneven sidewalk and fell down and broke my wrist. It was dislocated and then also had comminuted fractures that required surgery. So I'm working one-handed, and it's really challenged me. It was 3 weeks since surgery, 3 weeks tomorrow since I had my surgery. And in addition to being challenging on a physical level, the pain, all that, it's challenging on a functional level for sure. That's physical, I guess. And then I could barely dress myself. I can back to pretty much dressing myself right now, but certain functions are just so difficult. And sadly, art is one of them. I thought, oh, okay, I've got my dominant hand here, I'll be good. But it's hard to, this arm tries to jump in. Now, this is new. This finger functionality is returned. So I'm seeing a lot of progress. I'm super optimistic about how it's going to turn out, but there it is. So I'm going to turn the camera because I got some feedback from some of you about stuff you wanted to see in response to last time's video. So I want to address that. And then I have some other things I want to show you, and we'll get going. I don't know how long I'm going to be able to go today, and my demos may not be the thorough kind of demo I'm used to using, but here we go. Got this camera switched. Okay. First thing I want to do is show you this vision board. Before I suffered my wrist injury, I did yoga several days a week. Yoga classes led by my friend Angela, who is just fantastic. We've become very dear friends, and she taught this vision board class that she used me as her guinea pig when she was planning the class, and this is what I made. So on the back of the board, and I made this in December, on the back of the board I put things that were relevant for me. I wanted to be relevant throughout 2026. I wanted 2026 to be gentle. May you be gentle with yourself and others. And an unwinding where I was making choices. I had things in mind. You know, I wanted to just be more quiet, have some time with my husband, you know, etc. We've put these bird feeders in our yard, and I wanted to enjoy our birds. And anyway, yeah, so I am. Because that's about all I could do. So then on the other side, and this is a different kind of vision board, Angela on the other side designed this to accommodate a little tiny vision board, or like a mini for every month, okay? So these were to let you do a journal, pick a word for a month, or whatever you wanted to do. So I had left mine. So here's one that's not done. I had just put some place-holding tissue on mine and left them. I thought what I would do is review my overall vision board every month and then pick a word for the month and do a little blurb about it in this tiny part. So for January, I had this. I want to hold this up because you got to see this sticker. The only yoga pose I could do. Is that sticker not fantastic? It was so perfect for what I did. And so then I put in here my note. My major word is heal. I said, I fell on 12/28. What a way to end the year. All my grand plans out the window, and I've had surgery instead. Now I'm having occupational therapy and trying to use my fingers again. I'm learning to make a fist, and I'm getting better day by day. It will take a long time, but I am hopeful and moving forward. I got this. So that is that. I got this. And to do the letters on that, I used this stencil that we have by Carolyn Doobie, L957. I used the alphabet down at the bottom. I just wanted them to be real block letters. And this stencil also had some great words in it that I think I'm gonna, I'm going to keep this one on my desk for every month. Clever, leader, using her voice, resourceful. These are some great words. Wise. So anyway, I obviously knew about this stencil, but finding it again was really fun at this exact time when I needed it, right? So that's my vision board. If you've done a vision board, stick with it. I really think they are meaningful. So the title of this month's art break is For the Birds because it just seems so completely appropriate. So I was thinking about the birds, watching the birds and being around the birds, and for the birds I had fallen, and I pulled some of my favorite bird stencils. These are by Margaret Piot, L975 and others, but you could just look at Margaret's page. Or if you're on the StencilGirl website, just search birds and they'll all come up. But I love the way that these are called backyard birds. So these are a lot of the ones that we see at our feeder, and that was fun. I wanted to do something with these birds. So here's what I did. I got a piece of paper, and this is a piece of smooth paper that can tolerate paint. All right? And I'm not going to go through the whole process because it was a little bit painful, but I put the stencil down, and you know what? I made this guy already. I think I'm going to make one go in the other direction. So I'm going to flip the stencil. And I'm using, as I said, I'm using a smooth, it's either mixed media or watercolor paper. I like a smooth finish for something like this. And I'm using the Micron PN, which is the plastic nib pen. It's permanent, and I like it for this sort of thing. So what I did first, you can see how I just I'm shaky. I need to come up with some kind of a intentionally shaky art style that I could do. The first thing I did was trace the stencil using this permanent fine tip marker. Okay. Once I traced the stencil, I just got some watercolor paint and I started painting in this little guy to the best of my ability. And I layered and layered and layered. And that made a big difference, I think, in the depth of color. I also went back and used some acrylic paint markers. And I think that made a big difference as well and got some more depth going. And then my last step was to go back in with the pen again. And then I touched up some edges and made some marks and redefined some areas on there to make him look more cardinal-like. And I thought he turned out pretty darn good. It gave me a lot of pleasure doing it, not being able to do very much during this time. And it was like I made my own little bird coloring book. I kind of want to go through and do a lot of the other birds too. There's also this woodpecker that I want to do, this red-bellied woodpecker. We get these guys a lot, and I want to do that guy. I did this dove, which looks a lot like the doves we get. I love seeing them walk around in our landscaping, and they tend to not fly as much, but I just think they're so sweet. And then this little chickadee. So I've got some other birds I want to do, but this is a fun project, I thought anyway. I also wouldn't mind revisiting the project using colors that are not normal bird colors. I thought that could be fun too, like make fluorescent birds or, glitter birds or who knows what. I had done a thing, oh gosh, this was a long time ago, where we have some stencils that are beetles, and I had done some glitter beetles way back when, and they were just cool looking. Oh, you know what? I think one of them might be on. I got out some of these index cards that I had made. Yeah, here's one. Here's one now. This is a glitter beetle, which that was kind of fun. So anyway, the simplest of projects can be wildly rewarding, particularly when you're maybe compromised due to your health, due to your lack of bandwidth with the world, so many things. But it can be exactly what you need. I know for me it is anyway. The last thing I want to talk about is the last time I was showing you these index cards. I made these 2 index cards during the broadcast. This one and this one. And actually folding is kind of hard for me right now. It's such a disappointment, all the things I find I can't do. But I'm going to see if it's any better today than it was yesterday when I was trying to fold. But let's say you're working in index cards. The question was, how do I turn these into a book? And that's what I'm going to show you right now, okay? So I picked some that I thought might look cool together as a book. These 4 for sure. I don't know if this one is or not. I have a whole drawer of these from when, I remembered what it was that I was doing. It was that index card a day thing that I did years ago. And anyway, here's some more. So I'm going to just fold them in half. So I'm going on the assumption that you have index cards that you have artwork on one side of them. That's what you're going to need for this. You can have as many as you want, okay? As many index cards as you want can work on this. So you've got your art. That is just killer. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, this will be enough. I'm going to start. This is going to be the last page, I think. So you got your pages selected. Maybe you have the order you want them in. This is going to be my last page. So what I'm going to do is take the back and attach it to the back. Okay. Now I want to say that you can do the same book structure. You know what? I don't know if I can get the lid off the darn glue. I just stuck it in my teeth. I know, not recommended. All right. I'm using tacky glue. I'm over here at the side with some tacky glue. I'm going to see if I can dispense some of it here. Okay. There's some tacky glue. And I'm going to use a palette knife. Okay. So I know that I want this to be the last page of my book. So on this page, I'm going to put the glue. Tacky glue is good for this because it is so tacky. You know how it grabs the page and it really holds it well. You can also use a double-sided tape. It's really good for this too. Okay, so then this one I'm going to put down right on top of it. And I just want to make sure that there's good contact everywhere, page to page. This is one of the structures I use for my travel journals. And the reason is because this allows you to work all of your single pages outside of your book. And then when the trip's over, or when you think you have enough pages, then you can go ahead and put it together as a book. And I just have come to really enjoy the flexibility of that. This is going to need some more glue, but you can see how already 1, 2 pages. All right, I'm not going to glue all of these because my hand is not wanting to cooperate, but I think you get the idea. So then back to back would be this next one. And then once I'm finished with all the back-to-back pages, So let's imagine these are all glued together and you've got this stack. Then I'm going to weight them down with something heavy, so like this big thing of paint, and let the glue dry. You could put wax paper in between the pages so they don't stick to one another. That would be a great thing to do. And if you want, which you're going to want, to put a cover on it, then you can make a cover to size. You can make a binding, or it can be an open binding, and that would work great. I'm going to grab one of my travel journals real quick and show you how they turn out. I've got a few of them. This one is from Portugal, and you can see I used just a piece of tape. So after it was all done, it was all glued together in its pile, and then I put a piece of tape over the binding, front and back, like over it like that. And then I had my two covers. And for this one, you know what I used as the covers? I just found an old piece of art that I liked the colors of. And it was on a decent heavyweight watercolor paper. So I just cut it in half, added some more Portuguese type accents to it, and I was ready. So think about that. Think about another way to reuse your art. And these were all exactly the same format, just individual pages that I glued together and turned into the book. So fun, fun, fun. Easy way to make a book. Easy way. Another way to make a cover is to find something vintage. This was an old vintage composition book. This was when I went to Spain. Portugal was in 2025, and Spain was in 2024. Now this one, I used the composition book, the front and back, as my cover. And then I found this really cool, this is just fabric, and I glued it over, but you can still see the binding. So really, it's whatever you can think of doing is the perfect thing to do. Whatever you can think of doing. In case you're interested in traveling with me, I am doing both of these trips again in the fall of 2026. And I'm doing them again because I had so much fun in both of these locations. And I just want to revisit them and become more familiar with them. So you might want to think about that. In the meantime, you can use your index cards and make a little book. You can make some birds. Maybe I need a bird on front. I didn't see any cardinals in Costa Brava, Spain, though. But again, art breaks can be as long or as short as you like. I would encourage you to reuse materials you already have on hand, put stuff together in new ways, explore, push the limits, just play. Try doing it with your arm behind your back. Ha ha ha, joking. But hopefully that answers the question. I think Lynn was the one that brought that up and wanted to know how to put together that index card book. If you have any questions for me, put them in the comments below. I'd love to take a look at them and see if I can answer you in the next art break, when I have a feeling I will be so much more functional. I can't wait. Everybody, I hope your year is going well, and I will see you all next month. Take care.